Yo, what is up? What is up, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to the In Off the Bench podcast. I am your host, Daniel Ball, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Jim Cross. And Jim, we got a good one, man. We're talking to Mitch Sanford. He's a baseball player that's been everywhere. And we get to break it down. We get to talk about all of his locations, all of his stops, but most importantly, we get to talk Ole Miss baseball with him. But before Mitch joins us, we got to plug the best sponsors in the game. Old Dominic Distillery. Experience 150 years of tradition in the heart of downtown Memphis, from bourbon to vodka, whiskey to gin. Old Dominic's got you covered. Stop in today for a tour or just pick up your favorite bottle. Chinook Seeds, whether you're on the field or in the boardroom signing deals, Chinook helps you get the job done. 8 flavors, mild to wild. Go to your local gas station, convenience store, grocery store. Go to the snack aisle, pick up the best seeds in the game. Jesus One Apparel, empowering men and children to follow, embody, live the message of John 16:33. Jesus won and continues to win each and every day. Jim, the Bills have been played. We can keep the lights on. We can keep doing what we love to do. Appreciate the sponsors, but man, we got to get to it. Biggest interview this week, Mitch Sanford, bro.
5-year anniversary. Mitch, you get to be the guy, man. How you doing?
Good. Appreciate you guys having me. I'm doing good.
Yeah, man. I told you for the episode when Drew Bianco says that somebody's that dude, that they're one of his best friends. I know that we picked the right guy for a big episode. We didn't know who we wanted to have on with this being Daniel. I can't believe, man, 5 years ago, we're talking about the last dance during COVID. Like, that's what we started this on. Start talking to a couple local athletes we know, and then here we are, 531 athletes later. Daniel did the math, man. We've had 112 go pro, 18 different sports. Like, the only thing I didn't get a chance to total was national champions, and I feel like it's over 100 by now. Like, it's been wild.
I mean, that is unbelievable. The stat line. We got good stats, man. Hall of Fame.
But with that, I want to give the credit because Mitch was wearing on the field. I'm wearing the shirt. That boy looked good in the back cage. You got to give the credit to God, and also on the Chinook story, boys. I was in Baton Rouge this weekend, obviously, and I was the only one spitting seeds because they're not selling them there, Daniel. Just feel like that's got to change, man. I feel like the cleaning crews don't have enough work to do. You know what I'm saying? There needs to be seeds everywhere. Got to do better.
I mean, here's the thing. As much as I love seeds, like, I definitely don't want to be the cleaning crew. Like, that ain't it.
Do you remember standing next to me in Omaha last year, and they were so efficient that I was spitting into a pile, and they would come and clean like every 20 minutes. Like, they wouldn't even let me dirty the place.
No, they said, we are staying on top of this. The last thing we're going to do after every game is clean up thousands of seeds spit all over the place. But Mitch, man, we gotta talk business. We gotta get down to it, man. Obviously, being a guy who's been well traveled all over the country. Tell me a little bit about home for you. What is home for you?
Home for me is Berwick, Louisiana, the South.
So, all right. Is it like Berwick, Louisiana, South, and then there's a North, or an East, or a West, or like it's just in the South of Louisiana?
It's just the South. It's south of Baton Rouge, that's for sure. It's like about an hour and a half from Baton Rouge.
Yeah, speaking of Baton Rouge, Daniel, because I lagged, I didn't get a chance to ask the question. I got to know, Mitchell, man, we had a walk-off at 1:20 a.m. on Friday night, a.k.a. Saturday morning.
I watched
What's the latest game you've ever played in? Like, have you beat 1:20?
I don't think so. I watched that. I watched that walk-off. That was pretty cool.
It was crazy, man. Like, only probably half the crowd stayed, but you would have never known it. Absolutely electric, and it never felt like LSU was going to win. That's the reality. You had a couple errors, and it opened the door, and LSU just pounced on it. And man, it was special. It was crazy because the next day, set the attendance record, but it wasn't nearly as energetic as that night. And the point, the reason I bring it up is just, man, 1:20 a.m. I don't want to ever do it again, Daniel, but it was a story.
I mean, I guess if you're going to do it, that's the way to do it. Better come
If
out
you don't
on
walk
top,
that off,
though.
if you just go home with a loss at 120,
Yeah.
that's a tough ride.
No, I
if you're
told
gonna
you.
play, if you're gonna play that late, you better win.
You better give me 2 doubles the next day. I ain't trying to stay up till 2 a.m. to play some baseball.
That's right.
But Mitch, if I go to your hometown, all right, what is the one thing that you suggest like I have to do or experience if I'm there?
I mean, there's not going to be a lot, but you got to go to the Chevron gas station. There's only 2 gas stations. So the first red light has got the Chevron gas station, and you got to get the Stazione shrimp po' boy.
That's how you know it's legit. If you're going to the gas station to get your sandwich.
Well,
man.
hold on. Then you say that you live in Florida, okay? Your gas stations ain't like gas stations in Louisiana, Mississippi. Man, that's where the good food is at. I'm just saying, hole in the wall place, usually your best food.
Hey, I was in Miami and I got the best cup of coffee I've ever had to this day, and it was at a gas station. 100%. I promise you.
I believe it.
Heart, hand to God.
But man, we talking po' boys, and you brought coffee into this. Man,
Yeah, no.
no coffee.
If any of my friends or family are watching from back home, they know what I'm talking about. The Stazione shrimp po' boy. You got to get the 9-inch.
I mean, is that the largest? I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's the largest. They put it on nice French bread. It's good.
Man, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So if you're picking up sandwiches or po' boys for your family, like how many people are invited? You got mom, dad, brothers, sisters?
Grandparents live down the street. Cousins, aunts live in the neighborhood over, so like 45 seconds away. I'm getting about 15 po' boys.
Nice. And it's just a family affair. Do you find, like, obviously growing up being that close to everybody, like, is it good in a sense, like it's small, like the family's like really tight, or is it like, man, everybody knows my business, I can't get away with anything, everybody's just so close and on top of each other?
No, I mean, I love it. I mean, being close with family is super important to me, first of all. And just growing up with having cousins and a sister, and your cousins are like your brothers, and those relationships grow. And it's a small town anyway. Everyone's going to know your business anyway. So there's no real reason to try to hide that. So, I mean, I loved it. That's all I knew growing up, and I wouldn't change it. So I love that stuff.
No doubt. Who's your favorite athlete growing up?
Favorite athlete?
Yeah.
Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush. Wow.
Yes.
No doubt.
That's
no.
Why Reggie? Why Reggie?
Saints God. I don't know. I mean,
my God. Look, Daniel, this episode just took a major turn, brother. All right. First of all, you just made
Drew Brees too. Like pretty much anyone that played for the Saints.
Like, I want to flip this whole episode around because we do mostly baseball episodes, but there's a Saints shrine on the complete opposite side. You have the Louisiana Nines with Burrow, Brees, and Boucher, all the papers. Oh my God, dude, you just made my day. But Reggie Bush, that championship run, he had so many dynamic plays. That was my dude. Daniel's probably a little hurt because he's a D'Angelo Williams guy. They came out of college at the same time. It was kind of a big competition.
I respect it. I respect the game. All right. It is what it is. I mean, D'Angelo was great in his own right, but I mean, he wasn't Reggie Bush.
Fair.
I mean, what's sad is that Reggie got in trouble for all the things that are legal right now. It just blows my mind. Look at this guy.
New prop for the episode.
There you go.
My Saints helmet. No,
I bet you won't wear it for the whole episode.
The whole episode.
No, I won't. That's my Willie Roaf, the Fridge Hall of Fame helmet. So I really probably shouldn't have took it out of the case. But I never in a million years expected that answer, Daniel. Like we get a lot of, like, you know, the big times. We get Jeter, Kobe, all this stuff, and like him being Louisiana, I would have even maybe expected Breeze, but I did not expect Reggie. I love it.
Man, those are basic answers. I'm not doing that.
I love it.
Well, we gotta steer this ship away from Saints, or we'll be talking this all night, and I'll have to sign off and let y'all continue. But Obviously, you went to Berwick High School, named state
Yeah.
champion. You were the state championship MVP your junior year. You're voted 2019 Hitter of the Year, Class 3A in 2019 Louisiana All-Star Game MVP. Honors graduate at Berwick High, 4-year letterman at football as the quarterback. Man, you can't lie to me. Like, high school must have just been the greatest thing ever. Like, with all of those things, all of those accolades, playing all those sports, you were probably the man, right?
Yeah, I was the man.
He didn't even sugarcoat it.
No, I mean, you got to try to do it all. I think that's a big thing I see with like young athletes, especially nowadays. They try to mold them into one specific sport or do one specific thing, especially like parents. I'm like, God, dude, just let them play. Let them play soccer, play golf, play football, play like basketball, especially. I always love going home for Christmas break and stuff. And I'm not going run around the street or run at the track to do conditioning. I'm going to play pickup. That's my conditioning. But yeah, I just try to do everything back then. I think all sports are good and get into whatever you can.
Daniel, I love to hear that, because I tell you, the local powerhouse here, Mitchell, DeSoto Central, which is where Austin Riley, Keegan and Cameron James, all those guys came from. They won't let you play football if you play baseball, and it drives me nuts.
That's stupid, dude. I think that's
I'll literally be throwing the football with them guys, and they'll just, effortlessly throwing 60-yard bullets, and I'm like, I seen the quarterback play last week, and he can't throw it 30 yards, and you just out there doing this. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was such a thing, like, until I moved to Florida and I was actually coaching baseball, and I was like, what are y'all doing in the off season? Like, are y'all playing another sport? Like, I'm thinking like you're gonna go into like football like practices.
Yeah,
and
7-on-7 in the summer, like something.
Right. And they're like, no, we just play baseball. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I never did that. I never got into that to the travel baseball, even in high school, really. In the summer, I was running 7-on-7 with my football team, or I was doing something.
That's how guys get burnt out too, man. But
Yeah.
the football part of it, any guy that we've had come on that was a football player too, they said that helped them not only just from getting that break, but talked about mindset, talked about, just that mental factor. Like Landon Sims was the first guy I remember talking about, closer for Mississippi State. He said that killer instinct that he got was something that he had brought over from football. And for you being a quarterback, you know what it's like when the game's on the line. So for you, when you step up to the plate, it's something that's a parallel. Like, you've done this your whole life.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's definitely a shift in mindset, and it's a different type of game and a different kind of thought and a different switch that you got to flip. But it's also good to have that experience, because there are moments in baseball or other sports where you're going to have to tap into that. And if you've never tapped into that, how are you going to expect yourself to just do it when you need it the most? And that's the one thing that I saw, with a lot of players growing, as I coached in Florida, is they didn't have that one thing that football provided, or a basketball provided, or a track, or like an individual sport that where you're having to do the work on your own. Like, it's crazy to me, but it's a pandemic now, that singular sport athletes, that's all they do is just work on that one sport. And I get it. Like, you can be
It's
really
tiring.
good.
Tiring,
but just like you said,
where's you out? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if I would be as interested or as good if I just played baseball growing up. I don't know.
It would be an interesting.
I think about a player you played with, like, I never asked the question directly. He's been on this show multiple times or anything, but Dylan Cruz never did anything but eat, sleep, and breathe baseball. There's probably days where, man, he was just like, God, like, I need a break.
Yeah, I think he's in the big league. I was watching him on TV today. In our locker room, they had the game on. So I guess you could say, well, he's in the big leagues. So that's probably why. But I think certain people are wired that way. If that's all he knows, and that's all he eats, sleeps, and breathes, then that works for him. I just don't think I could have done that.
Yeah. Well, Mitch, when you're in high school, you're a very good athlete, but who was the best athlete that you played against?
Best athlete I played against? Any sport?
Yeah, any sport.
There's some serious athletes in Louisiana, so we're curious.
I think the best athlete I played against, I did some 7-on-7 with and against Derek Stingley. He's probably the best.
Yeah, he's pretty
Talk
good.
about somebody I'm not trying to throw on the other side against.
Yeah, no, he was good. I got to play with him, with the bootleggers and stuff, and then I played against him a couple times too. He's a real deal.
You were like, can I just play with you? I don't want to play.
Well, he's that guy. He was that guy. I mean, I'm sure y'all remember at LSU, like he wanted to play receiver and he wanted to play DB. So I'm like, no, dude, you don't need to play DB. Like you could just play receiver. Like you could play my side.
I will throw you the ball every time. I don't even care if you're open.
I promise on that football note, Mitch was like, man, I wish I would have been at LSU a year earlier so I could have been at all the home games for that run.
Right. Oh, that was my freshman year. I remember thinking, I know me and Drew talk about it all the time. Like, I mean, is it this easy? Like our football team just can't lose. I mean, now we know we had the greatest team ever assembled. But at the time we were like, oh, these are just college football players. I mean, well known, but this is just how they are. And we have the best.
Well, I mean, I decided to go. I mean, I went to 4 games that year, but I went to the first game the next year where, we lost the opening game to Mississippi State.
Yeah, I was at that. We were all at that.
And that's when reality hit for us, like, right? Like, it's like, okay, we just lost 18 guys to the NFL. It shows like we're not good anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you something, Mitch. You want to talk about a reality check?
Yeah.
This dude right here was like, you know what? This was his exact words. I didn't expect us to lose the game, but given all that we've lost, you know what? I'm fine. We could lose every season from here on out because I know that I experienced what I experienced the last year.
That was like, wasn't that like a record-breaking game for the quarterback or something?
Yeah, on the other side.
Yeah.
But I made that same. So with LSU, I actually feel that way. Like we haven't been back since, and I've been okay with it. But I made that same statement in 2010, Daniel, with the Saints, since we're talking to a Saints fan. And especially after 3 years of being walked off with the Rams and the Vikings twice in a row, I take that back completely. Like, if we can get another championship sometime in the next decade, I'll be all right. I can't wait any longer.
I mean, I've been waiting a while, brother, and I just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
You shouldn't have chosen to be a Cowboys fan. That's your fault.
I mean, it was a good run when I chose.
We've had such good teams too. We've had good teams.
Oh, I have no doubt in my mind, and we could do a whole episode on the New Orleans no call against the Rams, and then they turn around.
Send me the link. Yeah, just send me the link.
And then Breeze would have the bragging rights of saying he beat Manning and Brady in the Super Bowls. They took everything away from us. I'm still mad. It'll never go away. The pain.
Well, Mitch, let's get into the big question. Obviously, being a Louisiana kid, why is it LSU? Is it just because it's close to home and like that's what you grew up wanting to do? Or was there something else that drove you to go to LSU?
It's kind of ends up being like the best of both worlds. It's the closest SEC, the closest big school. I know you have like UL and La Tech and stuff, but the SEC school is the closest school. Obviously the history and stuff, but the coaches were great. And just like that's a powerhouse. You could probably find thousands and thousands of kids from all over the country, no matter what state, and their dream school is LSU, and that's in my backyard. So kind of a no-brainer to go there out of high school. Always loved LSU. Football, baseball, you name it. So that was really a dream come true. And even though it didn't go as I wanted to, I'll never trade those years or anything for the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I was thinking about all the guys you got to play with, and you were just talking about obviously watching Dylan, but I mean, you look back on it, and when you were a freshman or even a sophomore, the guys and the talent level, whether you're talking about Dylan or Trey Morgan, and you just go down the list, or even veteran guys, they're later were veteran, below. So it's just crazy how much talent you got to play with. And so I wouldn't trade those years either, man, because then when they have success later, those are your boys, right? Like, because that's why the correlation with Drew. I remember Drew in real time, like biggest fan ever. He's not there anymore, but you wouldn't know it. So I know you had to feel some sort of, attachment to that team because those were guys you played with. I asked you before the episode, but like, did you expect all those guys? I know LSU brings in the best of the best, but like we're talking about, guys who are either already in the MLB or they're knocking on the door. Did you expect those guys to be that good?
It was kind of weird because kind of like how we talked about earlier, I never really did travel ball, never did any of that stuff. So I kind of really strictly just played high school baseball and then summer ball in the Perfect Game League, I think in New York. Well, me and Travinsky went there for that summer. And then we went straight to Baton Rouge, straight to campus. And so I was kind of just like thrown in the fire. And I mean, the competitor in me was kind of just like, all right, this is how it is. Even my sophomore year when Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan and Jordan Thompson and those guys came, it was like, I mean, this is how it is. These guys are just good. I didn't expect, or I didn't know now looking at it, like good ahead of their time, I would say. But no, I didn't really expect that. Kind of in the beginning, I was just like, this is just how it is. But super happy for those guys. And it ended up being a crazy competitive locker room and a crazy competitive games that we played. So that was really fun.
Yeah, no doubt. Because, I mean, being that we're on the 5-year anniversary, thinking back, I mean, our first guest was from LSU in 2020. It was Beloso. Then it was Fontenot, and then it was Cruz. And then, here we are, like we've had like 45 from LSU. But, yeah, all the way back. And it was when Beloso was just a young cat. And so it was pretty cool seeing it all play out. But you played in 45 games, making 16 starts. The biggest thing I want to know, what you learned, about yourself. You're playing Division I baseball, like you said, at the powerhouse. What is the biggest thing you took away and learned from that experience?
Probably just the failure. The failure is going to come to everybody, whether it was to me or when I wasn't playing and watching some of the, at the time, best players that I'd played with and best players that I'd seen, watching them go through failure. That was cool to see them react, understand how I'm going to react to failure going forward, and just kind of molding who I'm going to be when I become an everyday player or when I become the player that I want to be. Kind of seeing that just go through my mind every day. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so let's get into the next stop. UT Arlington. You had, season-ending surgery there. What was the injury and, what was recovery time before you were able to get yourself back going again?
Yeah, so that was a rough time. So kind of when my sophomore year at LSU had started to have some bad aggravations in my back. Kind of thought it was just like some muscle pull or whatever. And then like the last couple series really started to aggravate me. SEC tournament really was bothering me. So we ended up going to that regional in Oregon, and first game just blew out. I was done. So ended up transferring, had surgery at UT Arlington, and it was a stress fracture in my L4 and L5. So that was kind of brutal news.
Do you remember what you did to that?
No, they said it was over time, just gradual fracture, just over time, just pushing through it. And I was just kind of weak in the core at that time, just playing 50 games or whatever. And it just got worse over time.
So who was the pitcher recently, Daniel? A&M. Was it Wyatt Hensler? No, that's the batter. He had the same exact thing. Remember, that's why he's out right now.
Yeah, it's just what is baffling to me is anybody who's had a back injury, and if your back, we'll just say for ease of the wording, if it goes out, like it is crippling. Yeah. It is painful, and it's like you can't get up. Like it takes you to your knees. And so I can just imagine like over time the pain and stuff that you're having to deal with, because it's not like you're just walking, like you are doing, you're rotating and doing things and bending and like all of these things that could potentially create even more damage and obviously you get to a point where you can't do anymore.
Yeah,
But
Daniel, it was Troy Wansing from A&M, and I bring it up because he described it to the T of you the way you did, and he just had his surgery last year, and he's trying to work his way back to hopefully pitch this year. But exactly like Daniel's talking about you, he's talking about him. Like, the back is so finicky, especially as a pitcher.
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
You get a chance at UNO. So New Orleans, how does that come to be? How do you get a chance to go there and play?
Yeah, so after the surgery, they actually cleared house at UT Arlington, so I was going to go in the portal anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a blessing for me at New Orleans with Blake Dean there. They were really the only team that was going to give me a scholarship and let me come play baseball for another year. Even though I had so many years of eligibility, they were really the only team that was going to give me a scholarship. And so that's kind of how that ended up.
Well, I mean, they gambled and it paid off because you appeared in 117 games. You hit 351 over 2 seasons. You tallied 154 hits, 94 runs, 23 home runs, 128 RBIs, 31 doubles, 7 triples. I mean, you slugged 610 for crying out loud. Like 428 on base percentage. You were the Southland Hitter of the Year in 2024. Like, they clearly got their money's worth out of you, and clearly you made a decision and had a lot of success. But of that, like, what is your favorite part of those 2 years playing for New Orleans?
My favorite part would be that I actually got to play those 2 years with my cousin, who I played high school with growing up or whatever. He actually went to UL out of high school and then transferred around, and he ended up going to pitch at New Orleans. And I committed at the same time. We're like, hey, if this is our last run or whatever, we're going to both go to UNO, live together in New Orleans. Like, we're just going to have a good time, whether baseball works out or whatever. So playing those 2 years with him, that meant a lot. And that was probably my favorite part.
So I've always wondered this, because we've had guys with similar stories of getting hurt and then transferring, or coaching, or something happens and it didn't work out and they transfer, and they, not that they take a step back, but like, there's clearly a difference between being in the SEC than being at New Orleans. Did you think at any point, like, I'm just going to be here for a little bit and then I'm going to do what I got to do, and then I'm going to go back to the SEC or go back to a power conference?
Honestly, no. When I first got to New Orleans, I really just kind of mentally wanted to get back into my own physical health, my own physical playing shape, and just ride baseball out for as long as I could. I just wanted to really enjoy playing the game again, not deal through injury, really just get healthy and get back to the player that I thought I could be and that I know that I can be now.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, normally most guys come on here, and if they could change their trajectory, they would have started at a school like New Orleans and then, went up and not had used the couple years like you did at LSU. But I think from what you were talking about, growing up in Louisiana, playing in a program like that, I don't think you would ever want to change that. But so many guys end up going to these other schools thriving. And like Daniel says, I mean, we've had at least 30 dudes and then came back, and we're doing what you're doing now. I mean, you're clearly killing it with 306, 12 home runs, 12 doubles, 4 triples, 34 RBIs, 47 runs, 11 stolen bases, just completely stuffing the stat sheet. And I've been to see you play 11 times in person, so I can verify that you can ball. Let me ask you this, though. Like, when we talk about wide places, as an LSU kid or a Louisiana kid, you played at LSU. Was there any hard process with, hey, I'm going to go play against a team that's been kind of a rivalry forever?
Kind of. I will say this: it was kind of an unsaid kind of mutual respect that I wasn't going to go back to LSU with me and Jay Johnson. because when I was in New Orleans, we played each other every year. And we had a good conversation with me leaving and stuff. Definitely no hard feelings between the two of us. Great coach, great guy. And we kind of talked a little bit after last year playing them at the box. But it was kind of a unsaid agreement that I wasn't going to go back to LSU. And the whole thing with Ole Miss is, I mean, the history speaks for itself. The fans, the program speaks for itself. I have Drew here, who obviously is my teammate, Drew Bianco. That's I'm not going to lie, that's obviously a huge reason why I chose to come here. And his dad, Coach Bianco. Love the whole family, honestly. The whole Bianco family are good people and dear to me, so I'm super appreciative of them.
Yeah, and Ole Miss, absolutely elite program. I think you made a great decision. Like I said, it's just fun to think about. And what's cool is, man, this year to see how the team's doing, because last year, when we're in this era of a bunch of moving pieces with the transfer portal, you can have talent, but it's not guaranteed to work chemistry-wise. Last year, you see the guys that are now everywhere that were at Ole Miss together. Everybody's thriving, but for whatever reason, it just didn't work. Coach B retools, brings in guys like you, and now this year it is working. So it shows that guys do have to gel together. So, y'all are 31-13, 12-9 in conference play. You obviously won, the midweek against Ole Miss, and while that cup means a lot, obviously you want to win the weekend series coming up, but nonetheless, you take that game, you take the series against Vandy. What's the vibe of the team right now?
Pretty level-headed. We know how good we are. 12-9. Is that what you said? 12-9 we are right now?
Yeah.
We're in a good spot, spot that we like to be in. Just to add a point to that, with the transfer portal and stuff, we just have an older group. We have a mature group of guys in the locker room and stuff. And I think nowadays that means the world to a team. When you're competing and you're playing guys who are old and mature, that's really what you want in your locker room, that can handle a 60, 70 game season. It's going to be loads of adversity, loads of trying times against, like, team wise and personal wise. That means everything. I think we got a good group.
Yeah, and I mean, that's actually you're the first person that's actually brought that up. And I'm not going to deep dive it, but those 6 guys that I mentioned, I'm pretty confident 5 of them are sophomores. So I think it probably speaks volumes to what you're saying and having that maturity come in. So I'm glad that y'all were able to fix it, because I think a lot of people were pointing the finger at Coach B last year, but he can only do so much as the coach. The guys have to come together. It has to gel. But I do want to talk about one game, even though it resulted in a loss, but I was there because Ole Miss is very unique in doing it. I haven't seen anyone around the country and cover a lot of baseball. The Kids Day, man, how cool is it, like, looking up? I mean, you were that kid once, seeing, like, I want to say there was probably 7,000 kids, 11 a.m. start, craziest thing. What was it like, man, like playing in front of a bunch of kids like that?
It was great, man. I mean, you nailed it on that. I mean, I was definitely that kid, going to any sporting event where no matter what, you see an older guy playing a college or a professional player, you're just in awe. You were just watching in awe, and that's what they were doing. They were screaming anytime someone made contact. They were yelling, dancing on the Jumbotron. A little different than when you come to normal game and it's a lot of older people. They're sitting in the chair, drinking a beer or whatever. You really got to see the kids just genuinely enjoying a baseball game, and it didn't matter. They were just outside having fun. So that was super cool.
Yeah, I mean, I told Daniel in real time it was nice because I was at the Tennessee series, which was obviously right before it. And even something as simple as, like, them giving the umpire the business on the first pitch, right? Like, it was actually nice not to hear that noise. Like, and like you said, the kids, like, I videoed the kids behind me, and they were doing all these chants. They were doing little league type chants and chanting for Ole Miss. And so that's why I wanted to bring it up. It was pretty cool. I hate that it ended the way they do. Of course, you can find a direct correlation with the fact that it was tied and then they shipped them all out of there. I think they killed them. You can't do that.
Y'all lost y'all's mojo when those kids got out of there.
Yeah, that wasn't on us, man. That was on them.
But got to ask you about what's coming up next, because I know, look, an experienced hitter like you, someone good like you have Oklahoma coming up. Kyson Witherspoon's a dog, like a lot of hype behind him. Do you get excited, man, when you see there's going to be an ace coming up, this Friday, and you're going to get a chance to go against him?
Yeah, man, it's the best of the best. That's why he came here. That's why I wanted to come back to the SEC, face the best guys that teams can offer. And it's always cool because, you're not always going to perform like you want against the best guys, but damn, it's going to be a good game. Like, you're going to be able to watch a good game. And a lot of times in the outfield, I catch myself slipping just watching good pitchers, good hitters, and just watching good baseball.
Yeah, we're talking about this.
If he misses a beat on a ball, you're gonna know why. He's out there just taking it all in.
Yeah, you know why.
Well, we were talking about this past weekend is Cade Anderson and Liam Doyle were going, toe to toe and just striking out guys left and right. And my text group from LSU was blowing up and like, how do people not love pitchers duel? Like, I get offense, man, is what moves the needle, but man, when you got two guys just going head to head, flame throwing, it's special. And so I definitely, like watching a kid like that. But being that I have no ties to Oklahoma, we root for Ole Miss around here. Y'all can just let them know. But I do want to ask one more, with Mississippi State coming up the weekend after that, y'all are going there. I was there 2 years ago when they set the attendance record. It was a big deal. Right now, with the way Ole Miss is playing and the way Mississippi State's playing, they're going to be looking harder than ever to try to spoil. They just lost their coach. Man, like, how excited are you, even as a Louisiana kid, to be a part of this Mississippi rivalry where, like, man, the hate's pretty real?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. They definitely set it out to be a big series, big deal. And I love that it's at their place. That's fuel to the fire. And I've actually never played there. I think Duty Noble is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun weekend.
I'll tell you this, that there'll be 16,000 there, but like the way the stadium is set out and the people are spread out, it won't be louder than Alex Box or Baum Walker, but it is cool. And I mean, it really is kind of the mecca of college baseball when you got the Lofts out there, the left field lounge. The field's beautiful, but yeah, they're not playing the baseball that matches that field right now. So like, go in there and do what you need to do.
Yeah, it's rough times over there at Old Duty right now. It's some duty for sure. But Mitch, we appreciate your time. Before you bounce, man, we're gonna play a game called This or That. You down to play a game?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, it's very simple. I'm going to give you two options. All you got to do is pick one option or the other. Can't say both, can't say neither. Just be decisive and go with your head, go with your heart, go with your gut, and just pick one.
Okay.
Jim, This or That, who's it brought to you by?
Chinook Cedary, 8 flavors mild to wild, the best in the game, less salt, no sandpaper tongue. Daniel, this weekend, was able to take a box out to the tailgate, passing out the seeds. The going flavor, no surprise. I tell you this every time I'm at LSU. For whatever reason, the Parmesan pepper is a favorite down at the box, but nonetheless, they love the seeds. You know me though. I stuck with original or barbecue. I'm not out there like that. I just keep it simple.
You're just a regular guy. You OG or barbecue. That's you, man. Like, and hey, that's the great thing about Chinook. There's a flavor for everybody. Even those jabronis that like dill pickle.
I was going to say, even Ty Floyd from LSU, who loves dill pickle. Weird. Weird.
All right, Mitch, let's get into the game. First question out the gate. It's a trick question. Sunflower seeds are gone. You just heard the plug. You just heard the sponsor. I mean, don't get this one wrong.
Yeah, sunflower seeds for sure.
There you go. Chinook. Best in the game. Don't even worry about any other bag because I'm telling you, get the Chinook and you'll be happy as can be. Better holiday, Mardi Gras or Halloween? You've been in Louisiana. You know what Mardi Gras is all about. What you got?
I'm going to say Halloween. I love Halloween.
Yeah,
that's a shocker. That's a shocker. I know that's definitely a curveball, but I love Halloween.
I put that question for a reason because I saw a picture of you, and you and Daniel have dressed the same for Halloween before. That's fact. Y'all like to do the wrestling thing.
Let's go.
The what?
Y'all both dressed like wrestlers. It was on your IG page?
Yeah, that was yes. I
Can't
think
see
it
me.
was my first year at LSU. It was hilarious.
Man, that was a good costume. You know what? Out of all the costumes I've had, John Cena, the coolest, like as far as like feeling good like about yourself, but also like
mobile too. Like
you feel good walking around.
Well, Daniel, I meant to tell you, I should have sent you the clip. There was a dude in the stands at Ole Miss the other day because Ryan Moorman comes out to his song anyway, was decked out like a John Cena replica. It's pretty cool.
That was his buddy. That was his buddy from high school. He said.
Nice. Well, if I'm in Omaha and Ole Miss is there, maybe you get
it's too hot. Don't even
John
say you're
Cena.
gonna do it. It's too hot in Omaha. You ain't dressing up like nothing.
I mean, I get to wear shorts and a t-shirt. It ain't different. It ain't too much different than what. You know what? And I'm gonna have a belt, and I don't even have to bring one.
There you go.
Let's go. It's
there you go.
almost meant to be. Uniforms, pinstripes, or the creams. I mean, this is a good one.
I don't like wearing my pants up, and I think the pinstripes look better. But the cream fits good, but I don't like wearing pants up.
Oh man, it's
going pins.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna go pins. I think pins look better.
All right, we hinted at this question earlier before we went on air.
Yeah.
Who would you rather be? Mike Trout hitting $179 but got 9 homers, or Paul Goldschmidt who's hitting .365 but only got 1 homer?
I'm going Mike Trout with 9 homers. I love the long ball.
Chicks dig the long ball.
Chicks dig the long ball.
You know what? What's shocking to me is it was just a quick answer, and there was no thought on like what the potential outcome of these seasons could be. Like one, in my opinion,
first of all, if
I can just say that I'm going to be Mike Trout, then I'm going to pick that no matter what the other option is.
But Daniel, he's smart enough to know that if you're Mike Trout, your team's not winning anyway, so you might as well just be having the glory. But what's funny is he was tied for the home run lead as of yesterday. As another guy jumped to 10. But every time they plug him for a home run, nobody brings up his batting average. SportsCenter makes sure to leave that off there. They just, hey, he's league lead 9 home runs.
Batting average, yeah.
Look, I think Mike is just going to stay healthy for the entire season. If he can do that, I think he's like, all right, that's a win.
Love that for him.
But the real answer to this question is Aaron Judge, who's batting .405 with 8 home runs. Notice I didn't put that in there because that's not hard to answer.
That's pretty easy.
That's unreal.
What's more fun, hitting a homer? Like when you hit a homer at Swayze, what's more fun, beer showers or a light show?
I'm going to say the light show because a lot of times you don't really see the beer showers. It's kind of off camera, or it's on camera, but you'll see it after. But a night game, you hit one over, you see it go over, and then you're trotting the bases and you see those, you kind of feel those lights flash and you're like, oh, I did that. That feels good.
He's like, let's go.
I mean, everything about a home run at Swayze, Daniel, obviously the beer shower, the light show, but even when they blow it up, when they come in, like it's always, man, a good scene when Ole Miss hits a home run.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they've got 2. I mean, the light show I'm assuming is relatively new. But we've seen beer showers for some years now, but like those are 2 good traditions.
The first home run that the light show got done for last year, Daniel, I was there, but Ethan Leger hit it, and I was like, all right, I mean, I'm down with this. Like every stadium needs to get on board with this. A light show is where it's at. And then I'm maybe in a minority, Daniel, but I've also told you, because you haven't been there, teams need to start getting like a 5th inning song, because Love Is Gone by Ole Miss, it's a vibe too. Like Ole Miss has got he talks about tradition. Ole Miss got a lot of good things going on there.
For real. I mean, I think you told me this, Jim. Like Death Valley, for LSU football, like it's crazy. But now with the lights, like it's like a level above. Like
they brought that out. Ironically, bringing it full circle, they brought that out for Ole Miss, and so that it was different. Like a light show definitely adds into it. Invest. If anybody's listening out there that works in these departments, invest.
Invest in those good X-Light LEDs.
You know, it's a reality since we brought up this whole SEC thing, Mitchell. It was, we're always about growing the game, and we don't disrespect any of the other teams or conferences. But it was hard for me to not laugh. He sends me that the Oregon has their highest attendance for a weekend ever, and it was 12,000 whatever. And all 3 LSU games against Tennessee were higher than that individually. And it's like, and obviously, that's one of like 5 places in the SEC that can do that any game. Obviously, Ole Miss being one of them. And it was like, the SEC just means more. It's like, it's not trying to hate on Oregon State, but like a weekend of 12,000 just doesn't sound like a lot.
You just got to be happy for them. They're doing the best that they can do. That's the best.
Yeah, it's no hate, but it does mean more.
Oh, for sure. If you had your choice of mascots, let's start with these first 2. Would you rather play on a team where your mascot's the Rumble Pony or the Yard Goat? And these are real. Goat. These are real mascots, by the way.
I was gonna ask that. Is this made up or is this?
No, these are real.
I have all 3 of these on a hat over here, signed by our guests that are in the minors. They're elite. That's why we brought it to you.
All right. So you said Yard Goat, right?
Yeah, that sounds cooler.
What would you rather between a Yard Goat and a Trash Panda?
I think Trash Panda because it's hilarious.
I'm telling you,
Yard Goat is elite.
That's a good one.
Well, now that I see the logo, maybe
the trash. I didn't bring the Trash Panda one because it's the old one, so I wouldn't be doing it justice. But the new one gives it a better argument. All of them. The Rumble Pony is a Mustang with boxing gloves. The minor league mascots, like this was never a thing I thought I was gonna do, Mitch. Like Daniel will tell you, like I never was gonna collect some MILB hats, and then I started seeing these logos. And I started hitting up our guys in the minor league. I'm like, I need a signed hat. Like,
well, what is even sicker is their alternate logos.
Well, you had to do that, didn't you?
I did. Mitch, I don't know if you know this, but minor league, they're not subjected to the same rules as the major league. So they can like change their mascots to something like very town and city specific.
So that's a lunatic.
And like, there's no rules. Like, it's awesome. Like,
yeah, but I love that though. I love that.
Like, if you wanted like these City Connect uniforms and people to like buy in and like just do an alternative mascot just for one game. Like, if you do it right, you'll get fans.
Well, and I think it makes it for these guys, because we have our other show, Pros and Joes. If you don't have all that, the games are boring, right? Nobody likes playing in front of 100 fans, but you start doing all these promos, you have fun with the mascots uniforms, you do all these food and beer specials, all these different things. Next thing you know, you got 5,000 fans in a minor league game. You have to sell it some way. And I think something as simple as a mascot change and crazy uniforms is a way to do it.
Look, this was a real promotion in minor leagues. It was Taco Tuesday, and it was called Tackle the Taco. And in between innings, wherever this taco ran on the field, if you tackled him, you got your whole section, like free tacos.
How have I never heard that story?
I don't remember the logistics, but it was bizarre. But folks were running on the field trying to.
I love that. Though. That's sick.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So now,
let me tell you, on Tuesday night,
go ahead.
It was on Tuesday nights. This place was sold out. Like 6,000 people, is probably as packed as this AA stadium holds, and it was packed every Tuesday.
So Daniel, now when it comes time for draft, and he starts to look into teams that are going to be looking at him, he's going to start looking and see what the minor league system's got, where he might possibly want to go for this. What's the midweek promotion, maybe?
Actually,
I mean, if you're gonna grind it, man, have some go somewhere that's gonna have some fun. Have some fun grinding, man.
Yeah. It's like the summer ball teams, the collegiate summer ball teams. They just do whatever they can to get the fans involved, keep it entertaining. I love that stuff. That's what makes summer fun. You go to a cool team that does fun stuff.
Yep. You want it to be an experience, not something where the players are
Speaking of, I can't miss one other thing about Ole Miss, Daniel. I sent you the video. They also got it's crazy. It's maybe not the coolest thing, but it's fun. the dude's throwing hot dogs off the motorcycle thing.
You seen that? You seen that?
Yeah.
Free dogs?
Throwing out free hot dogs. Who doesn't love free hot dogs, man?
Let's go. Throw me a glizzy. Let me take one.
Yeah.
All right. Concert or sporting event. And we're not talking like, Billy Buckaroo's Bonanza Bar, concert. We're talking about like legit, like bucket list concert, bucket list sporting event.
I'm not too big on concerts. I would rather go to like a Super Bowl or a Game 7 or something like that. Like any type of sporting event, honestly.
A Joe Burrow Super Bowl. Okay.
We needed it last year in the Dome.
That would have been sick. I'm not even like, I like Joe Burrow. I'm not even a Saints fan or like a Bengals fan or an LSU fan, but that would have been pretty sick.
I can't remember if it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I feel like it was 2 years ago. But Daniel, I told you it was conflicting in real time. Joe Burrow hit Jamar Chase for the go-ahead touchdown against the Saints in New Orleans, and I really didn't know how to feel. Like in the moment, I was like, I don't know if I wanted that to happen or not. Like, it's like
you needed it. You didn't know you needed it, and you needed it.
Yeah. Look, the greatest thing. Look, I was in Baton Rouge, and I got this story. I was working out. I was down there for, baseball because it was getting. I was trying to timeline it. It was when they were having just the inter squads, and I get a call. Me and Daniel were helping with the ASAP Sports Network. And they knew how much I knew about LSU and Joe Burrow and all that. And he goes, how quick can you be in front of a computer? Now, they were still doing the Super Bowl interviews over Zoom because of all the COVID protocol. And I was like, man, I could be in front of one in 5 minutes. Why? And he's like, man, you're interviewing Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. And I'm like, what? And so anyway, it's all cool. Like, I'm excited, right? Except I was in the middle of the gym working out, and I had just taken my pre-workout. So now I'm sitting
like you just got out the shower.
I'm sitting at a desk, sweating, heart beating fast, and I'm fixing an interview like dudes I like idolize. And I was like, oh my God. But luckily, I found out that like they use the audio from it, and you see them, but they can't see you, and that made it 100%. Because he would have seen me sweating bullets, but nailed it. LSU ended up pulling the interview, putting it all over their social media. I was like, all right, we got this done. But I definitely, he would have seen a fanboy too, because like I wouldn't even sugarcoat it.
Being all sweaty, just a mess. Would you rather be stuck in a jungle or in a haunted house at night?
Jungle for sure. I don't really like scary stuff.
The jungle's pretty scary.
Yeah, that's a good argument, but I don't do the ghosts and all. I don't do that.
I mean, here's the difference, though, Mitch. And really, like, the jungle is real scary. The haunted house is fake scary. And I
would rather take my chances with an anaconda or a panther or something.
Yikes.
I just don't want to be spooked. I don't want to be spooked, but that's why I love Halloween.
There you go. Well,
one time a year, you'll take it.
Yeah, one time a year.
I feel you. All right, last question. Money question. Would you rather be the number one pick in an MLB draft, or would you rather win a national championship?
I want to know how many people said number one pick in the MLB draft, because that would be a horrible answer. It's got to be a national.
We're at 14 total historically.
And let me enlighten you on just a little bit.
I just don't want that clipped. I would never want that clipped.
Those are the smartest people on the shows. The people that pick number one in the draft.
You got to go national championship.
Look. My whole perspective changed. I always was with Daniel on this. I was always I was always the number one pick, especially because that means $10 million come with it. But we had Paul Skeens on the first time and asked him that question. Then we had him after he was the number one pick in the draft, and he doubled down. And so if a guy could actually look at me who has been the number one pick in the draft and say they'd still have their championship, now I can't argue with it anymore. But the thing that Daniel always brings up is like, man, the $10 million that comes with it is a lot of money in comparison to the ring. But then you have the blood, sweat, and tears and the memories that never go. So it's just whatever you value.
I get it. but there's not going to ever be a time in your life where someone's going to be like, here's 10 million. Appreciate it. Where
he's got a national championship. He's got a national championship, and he told me he'd sell it. He'd sell me his ring for $200,000.
Easy peasy.
If you want to, if
he was a coach, that's why he don't respect it.
That's not true.
Anyways, you'll probably get drafted pretty high anyways if you win a national championship.
Mitchell, look, he's lying because he was a coach. That's why he don't respect it. If he's a player, he'd see it differently.
No, I wouldn't. I would see it the same, not exactly the same, but I would value it the same. Absolutely, I would. 100%.
Yeah.
I feel
like if I got clipped saying that, some of my teammates would be kind of upset. So
wow.
Hey, we had Luke Hill on last year during his immature session. He might have said it.
He probably
he's
downstairs right. He's downstairs right now, actually.
Yeah, no, for any Ole Miss fans watching, I'm so proud of that dude because last year I told people, I was like, it's no different than I was trying to give him advice. I was like, stay off social media, don't do anything stupid. And like 2 hours later, there he was doing something stupid. I'm like, bro, I'm like trying to help you. But like this year, man, he's growing so much. And I love to see it. Like, so, sometimes, as much as you don't want to see the hard times, you love to see somebody's growth individually. So, I'm proud of that dude.
Well, Mitch, man, before you get out of here and we wrap this thing up, anything you want to plug or promote?
No, I'm good. I appreciate y'all having me. This was fun.
Good. We're glad that you had some time to spend with us, but I'll help you out on the promotion part.
Yeah,
obviously, we got to talk about this. You guys are sitting currently 5th in the SEC standings at 12-9. You're a game behind Tennessee, who's 13-8, 2 games behind LSU and Arkansas, who's at 14-7. Theoretically, if things go one way or the other, you at the end of this weekend could be sitting in 2nd place or tied. You just want to
be, as far as the way that Hoover lays out now, Daniel, you want to be in the top 4 to get the double.
Yeah, top 4 is the sweet spot.
So they're right there on the cusp of it.
And you're right there. And I say all that to say, obviously, Austin Peay, the Governors, come in tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. You can catch that on SEC Plus Network. You don't want to overlook that. Obviously, you want to get some work in, and you guys want to go in healthy to a big series this weekend. But you guys are traveling to Norman. You're going to Oklahoma, and it's a good Oklahoma team. They're 21 in the country. Friday on the 2nd at 6:30, SEC Plus Network. Saturday the 3rd, 4 p.m., SEC Plus Network. And then Sunday again at 2, you're doing a matinee with them on SEC Plus Network. Now, obviously, it's huge. The implications of it's not going to make or break your season, but it could determine some high seeding in the conference tournament. And who knows, like, these are those resume games that you start building and you start putting yourself, all of these things together to try to get one of those top 16 seeds, because that's what really matters at the end of the day. And being 4th, 3rd, 2nd, or 1st in the conference tournament is a very good step to getting.
Look, Daniel, I needed to have him, Mitch. I needed to have him because I drive all over the country.
He just wants to go.
I'm 40. I'm tired. I just want to drive 50 minutes to Swayze for a regional. Like, make this happen so I can have, man. I need some short drives here coming up for regionals. Don't make me have to definitely do Baton Rouge. I get to see my team in LSU all the time. Like, man, give me something different.
Yeah, no doubt. This weekend's definitely one of those bricks that you want to stack, like you said, for the resume. These SEC games they mean a lot. Like you were saying, getting in that top 4 seed, that double bye in the SEC tournament means everything. And you've got every eye in the country watching that SEC tournament, and those games mean a lot too, especially for seeding and stuff like that for the big tournament. So. Yeah, we have a lot on our plate, and we're ready. It's going to be fun.
Well, just go out and have fun. It's a kid's game. Remember that. Don't ever forget that. Have fun. Enjoy it. Hope you have a injury-free, safe, successful, magical run this season. And, depending on how it goes, we'll bring you back on and we'll recap it, man.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, Mitch. If there's anything we can do for you along the way, please reach out, man.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
All right. That is Mitchell Sanford, everybody. If you like hearing Mitch's story or you just like hearing Average Joe's talk X's and O's, please like, share the podcast on Facebook. Head over to YouTube, hit like, hit subscribe, hit notifications. That way you're first to know when new content is dropped. Jim, good start to the week, man. What we got on Wednesday? Who's coming at us? Wake Forest, maybe?
We got Dalton Wentz from Wake Forest, and then we got Harrison Bidendorf from Oklahoma State. So, like I said, making the rounds, getting away from the SEC a little bit.
Oh, strange, but I like it.
We could talk about this little Wake Forest hype video they dropped. Hey, so I've got a different perspective now, Daniel. Ever since we had Griffin Merritt on, and he said, if you want to get a team to have chemistry, you do stupid stuff together. Remember, I didn't play baseball, so I don't understand the way the locker room works. And so I see Wake Forest make these videos with these, pop, bangers. And I'm like, what are they doing? But then, I hear Griffin say that, and I'm like, they're clearly having a good time. And you should never stop these guys from having a good time. And that's where the chemistry comes that'll obviously lead on the field. So I have a new judgment. So every time Wake Forest comes out with one of these things, I'm like, all right, man, I get it. I'm down with it.
Man, I wish you had that Vanderbilt video queued up. I was going to hit it.
That's too much for me. But the doing the pop video, I get it.
Well, we'll find out from the man himself what it's like and if they're having fun, because it sure looks like they're having fun. But Jim, it's been another great episode. We'll catch everybody on the next one. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We're out.